Hello again. Did you enjoy the story of the Little Red Hen? Perhaps you are wondering what happened next. Well, listen carefully, and I'll tell you about the Little Red Hen and the cunning fox. When the Little Red Hen decided to eat all her fresh, tasty bread herself, she thought her friends in the farmyard might learn something about helping and sharing. But they did not. Nothing changed on the farm. That is, nothing changed at first. One morning, when the farmer came round to feed the animals, he called the cat, the rat, the pig, and the Little Red Hen together. "Now listen," he said to them. "I must warn you about something. There is a cunning old fox about who is looking for food. If he comes into the farmyard tonight, he will try and steal you and eat you. So you all have to be very, very careful." When the farmer had gone, the Little Red Hen said, "We must remember what the farmer has told us. After all, who wants to be eaten by a fox?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the rat. "Not I," said the pig. "Then we must guard the farm tonight," said the Little Red Hen. "Who will help me to keep watch?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the rat. "Not I," said the pig. "Then I shall have to do it by myself," said the Little Red Hen. That night, the cat curled up in a pile of straw in the barn, the rat snuggled down in his rat hole, and the pig lay down in his pigsty, and very soon all the animals were fast asleep. But the Little Red Hen sat up all night, guarding the farmyard. She would not let her eyes close even for 1 minute. But she got more and more tired, and finally the poor Little Red Hen could stay awake no longer. Just before dawn, her eyes closed and she fell fast asleep. Of course, this was just what the cunning old fox had been waiting for. He came out from his hiding place and crept quietly into the farmyard. The fox tiptoed towards the barn where the cat was still curled up in the straw. Before she knew what was happening, the fox had pounced. "Meow! Meow! Help! Help!" the cat cried as the fox put her into his sack, but no one heard her. Next, the cunning old fox found the rat's hole and he stuck his paw inside. Before the rat knew what was happening, the fox had grabbed him. "Squeak, squeak! Help, help!" cried the rat as the fox put him into his sack, but no one heard him. Then the cunning old fox came to the Little Red Hen, who was still fast asleep. He crept up behind her, and before she knew what was happening, the fox had pounced. "Cluck, cluck, cluck! Help, help!" cried the Little Red Hen as the fox put her into the sack, but no one heard her. Finally, the cunning old fox found the pig snoring in his sty. "You would make a very fine meal," the fox whispered, "but you're much too big and heavy for me to carry in my sack. And anyway, I've got a cat, a rat, and a Little Red Hen to eat. I'll come back for you when I get hungry again." And the fox quietly carried his sack out of the farmyard and began his journey back to his house. The next morning, the pig woke up, yawned, and went looking for his friends. "Cat!" he called, but there was no reply. "Rat!" he called, but there was no reply.
Little Red Hen,
he called, but there was still no reply.
Where can they be?
He said to himself. Then he remembered the farmer's warning.
Oh no,
he cried.
The fox must have got them. I must go and help my friends.
And he set off down the path as fast as his legs would carry him. Luckily, the fox had not got very far with his sack. He was very tired because he'd been awake all night and his sack was very heavy. So he decided to stop for a rest. The moment he sat down, he fell fast asleep. As soon as the fox was asleep, the rat, the cat, and the little red hen inside the sack began arguing.
"This is all your fault, little red hen,"
said the cat angrily.
Yes, said the rat. You should not have fallen asleep.
Well, if you had helped me to guard the farm, I would not have got so tired, said the little red hen. Oh, now what are we going to do? We have to think of a way to get out of this sack.
I can use my sharp teeth, said the rat,
and he gnawed a hole in the sack and jumped out.
I can use my sharp claws,
said the cat, and she clawed a bigger hole in the sack and jumped out. What about me? Called the little red hen. We will help, said the cat and the rat, and together they clawed and gnawed a big hole in the sack so the little red hen could jump out too. Then very quietly all three friends gathered some rocks and put them into the fox's sack and then crept away from the sleeping fox. On their way back to the farm, they met the pig, who had come looking for them.
Oh, thank goodness you're safe, said the pig. Let's go and get the farmer so that he can catch the fox.
I have a much better idea, said the little red hen. We can teach that cunning old fox a lesson. And she told the cat, the rat and the pig her plan. Some time later the fox woke up.
"Oh, I must have fallen fast asleep,"
he said, yawning and stretching.
"Now to get home. Then I will eat the rat for my breakfast and save the cat for tea and the little red hen for supper."
The fox reached over and picked up the sack full of rocks.
"Goodness, this is heavy," he said,
as he staggered off down the road. When he got to the river, he sat on the riverbank and put the sack down.
"Phew," he said, "I need another rest."
The fox did not know it, but the cat, the rat, the pig and the little red hen were watching him from behind a bush. As soon as the fox's back was turned, the pig took all the rocks from the fox's sack and climbed in. Soon the fox stood up.
"I had better be getting on," he said, reaching for the sack. "I'm very tired, but I will not stop again until I get home."
"Quite right,"
said the pig from inside the sack.
"Who said that?"
said the fox.
"I did,"
replied the pig, and kicked the fox as hard as he could. "Ah!" screamed the fox, as he dropped the sack on the riverbank and tumbled head over tail, splosh, right into the river.
"Help! Help!"
he cried. The cat, the rat and the little red hen ran out from behind the bush and let the pig out of the sack.
"I do not think that fox will bother us ever again,"
said the pig, and they all laughed. "Let's go home and have some breakfast," said the little red hen. "Who will help me to make it?"
"I will,"
said the cat.
"I will,"
said the rat.
"I will,"
said the pig. So the 4 friends went back to the farm, where they all helped to make a lovely breakfast, and they all helped to eat it.